Women who dated older men as teenagers that now realize they were predators. What's your story? I was 15 and met a 30-year-old who was an older brother of a boy I met in group therapy. He used to tell me how complicated and mature I was. LOL, so cliche. I'm now 24 and seeing or interacting with anyone who is 15 makes me sick. I felt so old then, but it's insane now how obvious to me that people that age are children. I feel the same way. I'm in shock whenever I see a 16-year-old because they're just so young. I'm 32 now, same age as the man that took advantage of me. I was 15 with a 21-year-old. He hung around youth group and made all us younger girls feel special with his attention. I was shy and quiet, didn't stand out much, but obviously wanted the special attention that all the prettier, peppier girls got. He wasn't interested until he found out my mom worked nights and I was home alone. We ended up getting into a pretty heated argument and split when, 2 weeks in, I still hadn't let him come over because I was terrified of what my mom would do if she knew I'd had anyone over while she was gone. Glad you stood up to him, but kudos to your mom for raising you right. Made all us younger girls feel special with his attention. Male attention is a ducking superpower for girls that age. It's terrible. I was 14 and dated a 25-year-old cop. He never asked my age and I never told. One day we're chatting on phone and I told him that I got some homework to do and I'll call back later. He said, fresh a year of college getting to you, huh? I said, college? I'm in high school. Dead silence. Then he asked how old I was and I said 14. He freaked out and was saying I'm gonna go to jail for this and I'm gonna lose my job. He said I can't see you again and please don't tell anyone. I said yeah, of course. I got why he was scared and I never saw him again and never told. At least he owned up to it. I wanna say smart move by him, but obviously not so because he never asked age in first place. I was 16. A school teacher of 30 years used to touch me and text me stuff. I didn't really realize it was bad until some years later when he married a girl from my class. I didn't tell anyone because I was scared that people would think that it was my fault. I'm sorry. It was never your fault. I hope you know that. You were a kid and he took advantage of his position of power over you. My school had a music teacher that married a student after she graduated. He was later found to be involved with a few other current students and was thankfully arrested. It's alarming how many girls finally came forward. This was the early 2000s. He was my guidance counselor. I didn't realize how creepy he was until he proposed. The whole thing was ducked. What guidance could this man possibly have given to anyone? Ducking weirdo. Dude, that happened with mine too. They ended up getting married and have a kid. He's like 40 something and she's like 22 now or something. I had sex with a 28-year-old when I was 13 and thought it was perfectly normal. He always complimented me, bought me stuff, and drove me places when I needed a ride. Looking back now, I can't believe I didn't realize how ducked up that was. To this day he can't find someone to date that's his age. I'm 24 now. From what I heard from rumors, you didn't realize it was ducked up because you were a child and your brain wasn't developed enough, which is exactly why children can't consent to sex. When I clicked this thread, I was expecting it to be about 14-year-olds dating 18-year-olds. Your story is disgusting and I'm sorry it happened to you. I was 11 and he was 23. We didn't date. He had a girlfriend, but he would text me and send me nudes. Eventually I realized it was strange and blocked him. Didn't tell anyone about it. I sometimes wonder if it's impacted me more than I would care to admit. 11. Oh god, I'm so sorry. What a thing to remember on your cake day. 2. Hugs, love and light to you. My cousin in GA got with a guy when she was around 13 and he was around 26. She had 3 kids with him. He slept around with anyone who was willing, including his first cousin, her mom, my aunt, and her sister. He took advantage of her and ducked her self-esteem so much that she always takes him back. Her 3 kids now all have kids too. She is raising most of her grandkids. I feel sorry for all of them. Some parts of Georgia are like a third world country. From a small town in Georgia. Can confirm. Your aunt is a completely worthless and irredeemable person for letting a man rape her daughter and then having sex with him. Just thought I'd throw that out there. As a father, the comments scare the shocks out of me. Check your kid's social media BTW. The amount of beep pics and requests I got when I was 9 was, a bit much. The comments are all stories from people in their early teens who were looking for positive male attention. Give your children positive male attention. I don't know why. I don't remember watching anything or being around anyone that would influence me to do this, but I used to, at the age of 12-14, send nude pictures of myself to older men. I would go on chat sites and offer up these pictures of myself. I never met up with any of the people I sent pictures to, and I still, to this day, don't know why I did it. To this day I think about older men taking advantage of me and I don't know why I always go to that place. I don't think I was abused. If I was, I don't remember it. You described the same exact thing I did when I was younger and exactly how I feel now. Kind of feel emotionally checked. My wife said she used to do the same thing in Yahoo chat rooms and then on MSN. She'd go on cam and get her tits out to people she knew were older. I found this out when I was trying to show off by telling her when I was 17 I was going out with a 31-year-old LOL. Nice. Please smash the subscribe button to enjoy daily Ask Reddit content. I was 15 and definitely didn't understand a thing about love or danger. I found out that he was married and had a child because he literally disappeared and I was trying to find out what happened. OMG, that's crazy. I'm sorry you got preyed on like that. Is your profile pic the moment you did learn a thing about love and danger? I was 17 and having a relationship with my 45-year-old teacher. Whilst I was in school, my dad was dying of terminal cancer and I needed someone to lean on. The police found out, but I didn't want to disclose any details. Watching my dad die was enough trauma, let alone having a full-on police investigation. He is no longer allowed to teach, but never was prosecuted. I tried to go for counseling, but they said they would have to inform the police of whatever I said. So I've been trying to deal with it by myself. He hit me and sent me death threats and I never reported him. How old are you now? Has the statute of limitations expired? If not, you can still report him. I'll put it my experience in here while I'm at it. I was 14. He was 21 and I thought it was cool that he had a car and could buy alcohol. Luckily I didn't interact with this person for more than a few months. My best friend in high school dated a teacher and the school found out somehow. I don't know if she thinks of it like this though. I for sure do. LOL, I was friends with a girl in high school that married a teacher as soon as we graduated. As far as I know, nobody cared. He also left his wife and newborn to be with her. Zero consequences. Holy crap, that's crazy. Thank God the school found out. All I can say is that I am floored by how many horrible tales of abuse are in this thread. All the same story each time. I'm kinda in a weird space right now, realizing this happened to me. Welp. Another story to add to the list. No wonder my dad went to the police. I thought it was my parents' usual overreaction. Yes, I hope it will wake up in some people the realization that maybe feminists are not saying complete bullshocks and that we still need them. I'm 18. He's 31. I was supposed to meet him tomorrow. My country has finished quarantine. I told him I didn't feel comfortable sleeping with him or even hooking up in any way. He pressed me on it further and I admitted I was on my period and was uncomfortable. He told me that he didn't want to be around anybody who put up any barriers. He didn't want me to feel comfortable setting boundaries. Blocked his ass real fast. He told me that he didn't want to be around anybody who put up any barriers. Exactly the right moment to nope the duck out of there. Good on you for recognizing the red flag for precisely what it was. You did the right thing. Dodge a bullet. Sad thing is, you could be dating a predator at any age. I was 13 and my parents had a friend who was 24 that started hanging around the house a lot. I developed a big crush on him and ended up losing my virginity to him. I thought we were in love and going to get married. My parents found out and I never saw him again. Didn't realize how creepy it was until I had my own kids. I dated someone in their 50s when I was 19. I don't know why. My parents knew and hated it. I hate the old me now too. I don't know your story, but I'm sorry. I hope you can show your self-compassion and that you're doing well now. Well everyone, it's been swell. I'm off to hug my daughters. I almost wrote hug my kids, then reflected on my word choices. This made me chuckle after reading these depressing threads. Thank you for that. Nice. Please smash the subscribe button to enjoy daily Ask Reddit content. My mom was 17 and my dad was 26 when they got married. They were divorced before I was 2, and it was a bad marriage. My dad loved his cocaine and beer, and my mom loved, well, his best friend. I think I'm a bad person for chuckling at this. Chat sites were a terrible idea for me and my friends at 12-14. I got some kind of gratification from getting attention, since I wasn't getting any from boys my age. Looking back, I realize now there could be photos of me underage posted somewhere, because it happened multiple times. This led to my teenage years being over-sexual with men who I'd meet around the city. Again, it always seemed to be a self-esteem thing. I have a long-term partner now and I'm doing well for myself. But man, I think back and cringe at how naive I was and how many creeps there are out there. Oh man, me too. I didn't post many pictures, but lots of sex chat on AOL, and I even said my real age sometimes. I was like 11. Oh my, I was always a rebel. I thought I was special. The guy made promises to me that even I knew he wouldn't keep, but I was so entranced. Not a good idea. Do not fall into that trap, please. I was a lonely, bald 12-year-old who wanted attention. A 40-year-old dad with a son convinced me on the internet to send him nudes, and he sent me photos of him masturbating. He made me feel cared for and listened to, and it makes me ashamed to this day how much I trusted a man I never met. Probably gonna be buried, but this isn't me, but my little sister, who made the mistake of linking all her social media to her phone number, and constantly gets beep pics and sexual messages from creepy old people. She is going to be 14 in August. Tell an adult ASAP. Oh my god. Tell her to remove her number from everything and block everyone sending her stuff. She's too young. Sex was awful. He was 32 and I was 17/18. He was terrible in bed and treated me like garbage. But he did give me a cutting of implant that I still have today. Also helped to reinforce that sex is not love. But seriously, the sex was awful. I'll bet you anything that he was with people so young because adult women would comment on his prowess. No adult woman, I truly hope, would put up with shock sex. Does it count if it's online? If so, when I was 8-9 I dated an 18-year-old, and when I was 10 I dated a 17-year-old. Luckily we never sent any pictures to each other, but it unfortunately led to me lying about my whole life online for 7 years. I stopped last August and owned up to all my online friends. Did you actually tell those people how old you were? I was 11-12. He was 24-25. I would sexy him. Not photos. Only texts, thankfully. We dated online. We wanted to meet since he lived an hour away from me. He eventually broke up with me because I was cutting and suicidal, and he found someone his age. Then he came back to me because she wasn't as good as me or as nice or fun. I didn't realize how awful it was because I'd been sexually abused growing up. Jesus Christ, I was imagining 16-year-old girls getting swept up by the 20-something college kid, but this is just ducked up. That cow is giving milk because that's how this animal work. You. Nice. Please smash the subscribe button to enjoy daily Ask Reddit content. I dated an older woman when I was a teen. She was in her mid-20s. I was still a minor. When we broke up, she told me she'd been stopping her friends from coming after me, but now she wasn't going to stop them anymore. She proceeded to make my life hell, and even faked her own death to make me look bad. She stalked me online for a while after that. I don't know if she still is, but I can't deny the possibility. I don't feel safe. Don't know if I ever will. I'm so sorry. I'm currently going through a similar situation and I feel for you so much. My parents found out and threatened to have him arrested if he ever contacted me again. I was 13 years old and he was 21 at the time. At the time I was truly in love with him and tried to initiate contact with him after the fact. He wouldn't talk to me. I was super beeped at my parents at first, but looking back now I am truly glad my parents got me out of that situation. Thankfully we never went further than kissing and slight fingering, which is absolutely disgusting looking back, but I'm glad I wasn't penetrated. The guy was mentally unstable.